Hey everybody, happy Thursday. It is our virtual fashion industry mixer for the Columbus Fashion Council. I have two great guests, actually four great guests coming on today. Jen Peterson is my first guest. I'm about to get her in right now to talk more about Easton and what's going on now that Columbus is open. What exciting things are happening in Easton and what new places we need to try out immediately. And then I also have ANANTVIR. These designers, this brand showcased at Fashion Week Columbus in 2018. And they are here to talk about what's been going on with their brand, what's new, and what's to come. And kind of relive some moments from that runway. So I have three guys coming on. That's going to be Chad, Dominic, and Alex, all coming on after Jennifer. So let me see. I think Jennifer's in the wings waiting. Let me get her on right now. Hello, Jen. How are you?
Hi, Tommy. I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm not bragging, but I am bragging a little bit. I'm nice and warm in Florida still. I have not come back to Columbus.
You've got some good color. You look sun-kissed.
Thanks. I mean, it's every weekend, we want to take advantage of the weather because once we get back to Columbus, the beach is not an option. But we're broadcasting from Florida to Ohio and, working virtually. I think one of the blessings, the very few blessings of COVID is the fact that we can work from home, right?
Yeah.
And, and I think that's great for my current situation and my partner's situation. And a lot of our meetings are virtual, as you probably are the same with your meetings, or mainly virtual, right?
But I've been back at work since May 4th, so.
Okay, nice. All right, so Jen, everyone knows who you are, but let's just reintroduce yourself to everybody.
Sure. Thank you for having me, Tommy. I'm Jen Peterson. I'm the chief executive of Easton, and I think this is my third virtual mixer. And I've been in this role just nearly 6 years. So the last year probably counts for 10 more.
Yes, 100%. But you guys have done such an amazing job. We've talked about this before, and really, making sure that Easton is still available at some capacity for people to go to, because it's not just a shopping destination; it's an experience destination, right? And people go there for different reasons. And you guys have put so many great health and safety protocols in place that made people feel safe to go there. But Columbus is, it's open now, and that means Easton's open, right? So, and that's due to the COVID cases decreasing, of course. Seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, thank goodness, and the vaccine's coming out. What safety precautions will remain in place, though?
Yeah, I mean, so Easton reopened in mid-May. We're very grateful for the community for flocking back safely. I think we chatted a couple times ago about our mask mandate that was in place from day one, and I think that really helped people feel safe. We still have up all the safety signage. We have all the hand sanitizing stations all over property still. There is still a statewide mask mandate, so we're going to continue to follow that. But I think the lifting of the curfew and the stay-at-home advisory have certainly made people feel more confident to come out, to go anywhere, frankly. But I think, that definitely changed some of the dynamic in the community, rightly so, with the third wave we were experiencing. But I think it's been nice to have some good weather and to see people out here enjoying Easton. I think we're back to like our 80% traffic level, which we had been at and then dipped down again. And we've got a ton of new tenants here. So there's some exciting things to see if folks haven't been here for a while.
And tell us more about them, because I, for one, when I come back, I always go to Easton. I love Easton. I want to check them out. And I definitely I need to go to the RH Gallery rooftop restaurant again. I miss that. That's one of my favorite things at Easton right now. But what other places have opened up? What should we be checking out immediately?
Yeah, so Pins Mechanical is opening today.
Yes.
Their largest location of all their stores. So we're excited to welcome them. And, you know, they were going to open last July. So this has been a work in progress, and we couldn't be more thrilled. I wasn't there last night, but some folks were there for a preview, and everybody was raving about how amazing it is, how big it is. You can really feel safe and spread out, even, you know, with, you know, fairly decent capacity. Lemon Shark, which is Lemon Shark Poke and Mackay Grill, opened last week. It's a fabulous Hawaiian concept focused on the poke, and then Mackay is the meats and vegetables that are made on a hibachi. We went to a VIP kind of preview there a couple weeks ago, and it's just fantastic. I can't wait to go back.
Nice.
So that's up in our expansion as well. Slurping Turtle opened in December, which is a ramen concept. Dragon Donuts opened right after Thanksgiving. Crimson opened in October. I mean, I'm going back to True Food in September. If you guys haven't seen these new brands, are all incredible new additions to Easton, to the community, to Ohio in many cases, honestly. And Purple opened in the station building. It's a mattress and comfort brand that has dog beds and pillows, all kinds of cool stuff. And we have the Aloft opening in April. So we're continuing to feel a lot of love and a lot of energy from the community, from these, you know, new family members that we're welcoming, these new tenants. And I would say, you know, if you haven't been to Easton in a while, you have a lot to see.
Right. And Easton does such an incredible job also supporting the community. I mean, you guys have been supporters of the Columbus Fashion Council and our flagship program, Fashion Week Columbus, for years, as our presenting sponsor of Fashion Week Columbus as well. And, you know, that means a lot to us and our organization, but you guys do so much more than that. You have this great charitable cause or program called Change for Charity. Tell us more about this.
Yeah, so I mean, of all the things that the Easton Community Foundation does, probably Change for Charity is the most well-known, where we pick 6 different charitable causes a year to be featured on our meters and to receive a portion of those proceeds. Now, we still support lots and lots of other groups and our scholarship programs, and so it's not the only thing we do. But again, the most visible, and you know, we really give those partners a lot of publicity in our marketing materials, not only on property but digitally, so people can understand their missions and really gain a better understanding of what they're all about, hopefully to either become a supporter themselves, potentially attend an event, volunteer. We've had folks that were using our community booth who re-engaged with a client that they had lost. So all kinds of magic happens when you're part of that program. And we were really intentional this year of focusing on groups that were focused really on racial justice, and or we're really providing a major COVID need, like food, or dress for success with the tools you need to get back into the workforce. So it's it's an incredible program. Through the foundation overall, we've given, nearly $8.5 million in direct funding away since its inception. So, you know, that's pretty significant for a shopping center. It's unusual, and, you know, we take great pride in that. And, you know, being part of the community and really engaged with the community is something that we're really proud of.
Right. And again, making an impact, creating an experience destination for the community. You guys are killing it. It's amazing. You guys do a great job. And always, I just remember, you know, during the pandemic last year, and I emailed you and Meredith about this, and how just what an amazing job you were doing, still connecting with the community, even during a pandemic when people were still having to be on lockdown. And I think that was such an impactful, you know, just an effort on Easton's part, because it just shows the heart of what you guys do, along with the charitable causes you support. So I appreciate that, and I think the community does too.
I thank you for that. It was hard. I mean, our meters were off for like nearly 5 months. And so that is the fuel behind the foundation. And, you know, definitely what we were able to do in 20 was less, like for everyone. But we're looking forward to getting back to our usual and seeing 2021 and that light at the end of the tunnel. And
Right.
if, some of our response to these new tenants is indicative, people want to come. I mean, our igloos have been wildly successful and so
Nice.
fun. So those are at a handful of brands. We just are putting in several more. And we have an ice skating rink, Tommy.
What?
My God, hello.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, which you probably don't know because you're in
I didn't know
Florida.
about this.
Yeah, we launched it on February 20th. It's on our town square, and the ice is synthetic, so it doesn't require any particular temperature. The skate rentals are free. There's a limit to how many people can be on the ice at a time, and of course you have to be masked. But that's been really fun to see families and couples and just groups of women together, just enjoying that outdoor fun. We know spring's coming, but it's still cold.
I think that's amazing, and I did not know about the ice skating rink. So congratulations on that. I have wondered in the past. I'm like, why doesn't Easton have an ice skating rink? That would be because remember there used to be one downtown on State Street, I believe.
I think by the State House. You're right, and then the Blue Jackets have had one in the Arena District a couple of times around the All-Star game. And people love ice skating. So it's definitely something that has captured folks' imagination as we've all gotten outside more this year. And, people seeking to do things that are safe, where they can, be in nature. We've left all of our holiday lights on the trees in the buildings. And we'll keep those up through the end of this month even, because we just know people need that extra little bit of joy and uplifting.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got them on at my house too. I mean, I took down the tree, but I left up the lights. It just sparks that little bit of, hope.
Magic. It's a little bit of hope, a little bit of magic, a little bit of, I get it. I think Easton does an amazing job. And we appreciate your support with everything we do.
And congratulations to everything that you all accomplished in a really tough year. And I was reading your synopsis recently and giving out 30,000 masks. That's astounding. So congratulations to the council and your work and the team behind you.
I love it. I mean, that's what we do. We, during this time, we had to figure out how do we make an impact as well, and how do we also remain sustainable as a nonprofit organization. Yeah. And because of sponsors and donors and partners like yourself and Easton, and our patrons, it made it possible for us to make an impact. Those 30,000 masks for Ohio Health facilities, even for NASA and different military branches and the Navajo Nation. That was our first kind of council initiative outside of Fashion Week Columbus, right? So we were really proud about that. And then, of course, I released our annual report, which you saw. We'll release it publicly tomorrow morning. I'll touch base on it a little bit today during this chat. Where can people find out more information about Easton?
So we would love you to follow us on our social channels, Facebook and Instagram, our main handles, Easton Town Center. And then we also have personas. So within Instagram, you can find Easton Mommy, Easton Foodie, and Easton Trendy, the most important one to the fashion crowd. So they'll get, a little bit deeper into certain kinds of areas. And then, of course, our emails. You can sign up on our website, eastontowncenter.com, and they're, very informative in terms of what's happening here, new tenants. It's where we've communicated all of our safety protocols over this last year. I mean, we're all in a stunned state seeing that we're a year later and we're still doing this. I mean, I think we all are kind of all somewhat still in March 2020, and it's been a blur.
Right.
Since then, but there's a lot of really helpful information on the site.
Yeah, the site's helpful, and please, everyone, follow them on the social media channels. I do, and it's always fun content. You guys did a great job. So does Meredith. So
we have an amazing team. Yep.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Thank you for joining me today. I know you have another engagement here soon. I really appreciate your time today. You're always fun to talk with, and I always love seeing your face. Always.
I agree, and great to see you, Tommy, and enjoy the rest of your days in Delray Beach.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be back mid-March. No
All
promises, though.
I
Bye,
love it.
Jen.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, it's so great talking to Jen. They do such an amazing job at Easton. I can't say that enough. You know, it's also ranked one of the top outdoor shopping destinations in America. We're so happy to have Easton as a supporter of Fashion Week Columbus and the Columbus Fashion Council. So I'm so happy to learn that you can visit Easton still and be safe. And now that the restaurants are fully open and the bars are open there as well, you can go and enjoy Easton as much as possible. So here in about 12 minutes, we'll have the ANANTVIR guys coming on. And I did mention our annual report, which we're going to talk about for just a little bit. That's being released tomorrow on our social media channels. And it does list out our impact that we made in 2020, which we're super proud about because 2020 was such a challenging year. But because of the resilience of the board and our passionate team members and our amazing donors and sponsors and partners, we were able to make an impact, and that's important. If some of you don't know, our mission at the Columbus Fashion Council is to provide a platform for local and emerging fashion designers. It's a two-part mission. The other part is to provide scholarships to fashion design students. Our fashion designers are small businesses, they're small brands, and our fashion design students are trying to make a career in an industry that they have a passion for. So any support from anybody at any point during the year is important, and it really makes an impact, and it helps us meet our mission. So just some highlights from last year. Again, Jen had mentioned, we had provided 30,000 masks for Ohio Health Facilities, the Navajo Nation, NASA even contacted us, and various military branches. This was made possible through a partnership with Emoto Brand Development, and we involved a lot of local fashion designers to design masks and donate them, and we also involved national and international businesses and companies to help fund manufacturing of masks. So if you remember, last March, there was a mask shortage. March or April, there was a mask shortage, and we saw that as an opportunity to really show the heart of the fashion industry. It's not always about the glitz and the glam. It's not always about pretension. It's a matter of fact, you know, I like to try to change that narrative because fashion is not pretentious. Fashion actually impacts every single one of us because unless you're a nudist, fashion impacts you. So don't forget that. And don't forget that someone had to design that shirt or that scarf or that bow tie. Someone had to choose the color. Someone had to choose the pattern. I know one of our designers actually came up with his own unique mask pattern so it better fits your face and you can breathe in it. And this is important, and it really does impact everybody that wears clothes. So, but anyhow, so that was our mask initiative. That was a Columbus Fashion Council initiative. We also started this, our virtual fashion industry mixers that we held weekly last year, because if you remember, we were on lockdown. We had to stay home. We couldn't go out. We couldn't go to restaurants. We couldn't go to work. So we were all locked in our homes. And I think even myself, you know, I started my own lifestyle channel, showing, you know, just the quick workouts I'll do, or, you know, testing out some power bands, or even my Tommy Time cooking, which some of you got to see me drunkenly make spaghetti in my spaghetti sauce with tons of wine. So anyhow, you know, we all became experts, I think, at Zoom, at anything digital, and learned. I think we all probably got ring lights. But during that time, we also felt like, as the Columbus Fashion Council, we felt like we needed to really stay connected to our audiences, to our designers, to our fashion community, because even events weren't happening. And so we started the weekly virtual fashion industry mixer, and we did it every week. We would have 2 guests on, just like we're having today. We would have an opener and a closer, and we reached an audience of over 10,000 people since we started that in, I believe, April last year. We've since moved it to a monthly fashion industry mixer, as people are able to get out and about and do other things and not sit in front of their computer or their laptop or their phones. And we also did move to a new platform. Obviously, if you're on Facebook or YouTube watching this, you're looking at the new platform. It allows us to do much more, thanks to Events Amplified for managing our streaming services. you know, we were able to do this and be a bit more innovative with what we're doing. So if you want to visit the past fashion industry mixers, just visit our Instagram page at Fashion Week Columbus. But you can also view today's virtual mixer and future virtual fashion industry mixers on the Fashion Week Columbus, the Columbus Fashion Council Facebook pages, or the Fashion Week Columbus YouTube page. So yeah, so that's another initiative that we started during the pandemic that we're super proud of. We also executed Fashion Week Columbus. It was literally one of the first large events that happened during the pandemic. And of course, being the executive director and the founder, I wanted to make sure that everything, all the policies, all the requirements were overmet. There were temperatures taken at the door for the private live events, for the fittings and whatnot. And we ended up executing a full week of fashion events. Some were virtual and some were in person, like Macy's Fall Fashion Show was on the rooftop. Only 100 people, I believe, that were all spaced out by 10 feet. It was actually an amazing runway show, one of my favorites by Macy's so far. And then we also had a great Passport to Fashion runway show, which was all virtual, but really well done. They did a great job with that. And then the finale runway show, which was in studio at OHAL HD. And we only had 100 guests who were donors and sponsors to attend. That's all we can get in there and spread everybody, spread COVID groups or pods out by about 10 feet each. Models, we showcased 6 designers, including our headline designer, Stevie Boy. And, you know, we made sure that we followed all policies, you know, health and safety guidelines and regulations. And models even walked one direction on the runway and then came back and did a train, you know, the same direction. So we were super proud about that. That also was virtual. So if you streamed in, thank you so much for your support. If you actually attended, thank you so much for your support. And you know, those are the 3 major initiatives that are listed, or programs that are listed in the annual report, which you can find tomorrow. So yes, so about 5 minutes until Alex and his crew join us. I'm gonna check my text messages. I don't see them, but they're almost hopefully on board when they click in. What I will do, they have a cool video I'll show you here before we introduce them. And but other than that, hopefully everyone's doing well. If you're wondering what I'm drinking, it's actually tea because I'm going to the gym after this. What you don't see below is I'm wearing my gym joggers. So I have a cute top on, but drinking my tea. So no cocktail for me, because when I have a Manhattan or whenever I have any kind of cocktail during my virtual fashion industry mixers, I'm useless afterwards. So this is a milk tea that Aaron made me. So yes, I see the guys are coming on here soon. Looks like I have them all. Cool. Hey guys. So we're gonna get them on real soon. Let me first though play you their video, which I think is amazing. Let's see if this comes up. Such a beautiful video. I'm so glad we got to showcase that. And I believe that's a friend of theirs that is being showcased. But I'm gonna get them in to talk about the video. So first, let's bring in Chad. Hey Chad, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. All right, and let's bring in Alexander and Dominic. Hey guys, you're on the verticals. You might have to squeeze in together.
Yeah, we'll squeeze. Hi, how's it going?
Sorry, I think I actually told you the instructions were turn your phone to horizontal, but let me see if I can change this in a different way. I don't know. No, I don't like it. Is that better?
That's much better.
That's fine.
You like this? Hi guys, good to see you. And I see your Alexandre and Dominic, you're broadcasting from your beautiful home, which I've already invited myself to for dinner. So I want to come back. I watched the progress of it. I love it. I just sent a link to your Instagram to a friend of mine who's an interior decorator. I said, oh my God, you have to see this house. So anyhow, good to see you guys.
You have to come up sometime.
Most definitely. All right, so I didn't properly introduce everybody. Can Chad, Alexander, and Dominic, can you properly introduce yourself, please, and your brand?
Sure. I'm Alexandre Marr. I live here in Akron, Ohio with Dominic, who's also my partner. We are the CEO and CMO of our line ANANTVIR, which is a fairly young brand. We're less than 3 years old. And we're a collection of principally, initially menswear, but transitional unisex wear as well. All of our clothing is made in India, alongside our Indian business partner, ANANTVIR, which is where the label got its name. My background is principally in fashion and music also, and I'll let these guys share a little bit about themselves too.
Yeah, so I'm Dominic, like Alex mentioned, down here in Akron as well. And so I also have a background in marketing and photography too.
And I'm Chad. I'm the COO and co-founder at ANANTVIR. Currently, during the pandemic, kind of, staying in Florida, trying to quarantine here for a little bit, but originally based in Cleveland.
Where in Florida are you? Because I'm in Florida right now, actually. That's where we're broadcasting from.
Yeah, so usually I'm in Venice, except for right now I'm on Usepa Island. It's off of Flinders.
Nice.
Yeah, but after this weekend, I'll be back in Venice. And it took a little weekend vacation.
That's nice. I've never been to either of those places in Florida. We're over in Delray Beach, and my friends keep asking, when are you coming back? I'm like, when Columbus thaws out. Because right now, I don't need to be back, really. All my
I keep saying when I get a vaccine, then I'll come back. But until then, I'm staying here.
Yep, it's snowing here today, so there's that.
It is?
Oh, yeah.
Is that just Cleveland, though, or Akron?
Well, we were in Columbus, actually. Was it last weekend or the weekend before? It was frigid.
Well, I miss Columbus. I miss Ohio, but I will take this warm weather anytime, honestly. So, the beautiful video, thank you for sending that to me to play. Can you, let's talk about the video for a second. It's so gorgeous.
Thank you. So that is Tyler, who's actually dancing in that video. He's a professional dancer. And so we sort of fell into bringing dance into our collection just because it showcases the beautiful fabrics that we fabricate everything in. And it's just so captivating, especially when you put it in slow-mo too. So
yes.
That video, it was shot, so Dom is like the creative mastermind behind all of our social, all of our video, all of our photo materials. Nice. And that was actually shot just outside of our loft at the Akron Art Museum. I'm not sure if you've ever been there, but it's a very like modernist structure. So we thought that paired with like the contemporary dancing and the music and the very like fluid types of fabrics would work really beautifully. So that's part of our winter campaign ad.
I love it. I love it. And it doesn't hurt that, again, your fabrics, flow. They just, I mean, I remember on the runway, they just like, as the models were walking, they're really well made. The fabric's really well, a great high quality fabric. And just the way it flowed was just amazing. I actually love your collection. If our audiences don't know, they had debuted actually at Fashion Week Columbus in 2018. And it was such an amazing show. I think it was all male models, although the brand is unisex, which we're going to talk about in a second, right? But it was one of my favorite things. I remember something that a couple of comments were like, oh my God, why are the guys walking so fast? And I'm just like, that's how runway shows are. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you go to New York Fashion Week and you see like tons of shows that they're like this. They're getting in and out like that. But it also added to the energy. Right. So I don't know if you guys showcase in the middle of the show, but usually that middle portion needs to kind of raise that energy up a little bit, because there's like a dip, right? And you guys did it. I loved it, every bit of it.
Well, and you know, one of the reasons we had the models walk in that way was, one, we had like kind of an aggressive soundtrack to juxtapose against this very like fluid, peaceful, tranquil type of clothing. But also, just like you saw in the video, the clothing moves with motion. So we wanted to create that similar atmosphere on the runway, and everyone was like, why are they running? But it turned into such a beautiful presentation. Yeah,
it really did. And the photos are amazing. I mean, everything was just so great. One of my favorite lines that has ever been on our runway.
Thank you so much, Tommy.
Of course, you know, I always support you guys. Well, let me see if I can bring a photo up though, because you guys dressed me that night. And not that I forgot, but I remember, like, I just couldn't find the photo. But let me see if that comes up. Oh, there we are.
Aww.
And everyone doesn't realize. Okay, all these guys are super tall, by the way. I'm 5'11". With my hair, I'm 6 foot. So these guys are super tall, just letting you know.
You know, we wanted to wait until we were on the air to tell you this, but we still have that piece as a sample, and we'd like to send it to you.
Oh, shut up.
So if you send us, I don't know if you want us to send it to Florida or Columbus, but we thought that would be a nice surprise on the air. It looks so beautiful on you. It's gorgeous. And it was made to your dimensions, so.
I mean, it literally, let me see, when I put that on backstage, because this is me, I'm running around the whole time. You probably saw me running around like, where's Tommy? He needs to put his stuff on. And it's me, just put it on, just put it on me. I wasn't trying to be a diva. I'm just like, just put it on. And I didn't know, like, how to put it on. And once it went on, like, oh my God, it fits like a glove. But instead of giving you an address, I'm just going to go to your house and pick it up. That way you don't have to commit to dinner in your home.
Absolutely.
Yep. I'll go back to Ohio for it too.
Come on,
Yes,
I also want to show a couple more photos. This is you guys on the runway. You guys look so dapper. Look at these looks. All three of these looks are your brand, which I love. And then I thought I had one of Robbie. It did not upload. I'm sorry. Darn it. I had a couple models as well. So, but I just thought this photo is just so really just captures that moment, I think, in my opinion.
That's a great time.
Yes. Okay, so what are your backgrounds in the fashion industry? What inspired you all to come together to create this amazing brand?
So I guess I'm the one with like the official fashion background. So I studied fashion merchandising at Kent State University. That's what my bachelor's is merchandising, but I also did a lot of independent studies in design. So I kind of came at the industry from like a 360-degree approach. My grandma also had a really crucial influence in teaching me how to sew and garment and apparel construction, as well as technical patterns. So this like fashion theme has always like followed me. And Dominic and I are big proponents of just design in general. So it seemed like only natural that we would create something, create like a first party collection out of our conglomerate skill sets. But before the brand, I worked for Barney's in New York. We did a couple of other sidelines before ANANTVIR. I did some work with Saks. So my background's principally in buying and in retail, but eventually this line kind of turned it into a more of a product development based career.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Well, and given my background as an art director currently, but also my background in graphic design, marketing, photography, I've always found a way to somehow bring it back to fashion. So I've always had that element of editorial fashion in all of my work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my background's completely different. So it is not fashion at all. I actually got a degree in computer engineering. But when I met these two in 2014, I think from like the second we met, we kind of shared this passion for design and this passion for fashion. But we started designing and creating custom pieces from, I want to say like 2014 to 2018. At one point, like the things that we were creating were just like filling my closet. It was all I'd wear. When when like the opportunity came up, it kind of made sense that the three of us started it together.
Yeah, Chad was almost like Chad was the muse. So we and like the three of us, like I have no closer friend really besides Chad. Like the three of us just always had wanted, once we met, we get along so well that we always had wanted to start some sort of business initiative together. So something in fashion, something in design, it seemed natural. So it was kind of just born out of this idea 3 years ago to create this fusion line that we were inspired to make.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have a trunk show from your closet, is what you're saying, Chad? Just
Okay.
I love that. I think it's important to tell stories of each of your stories, because there are a lot of designers that don't have a formal training, that I've worked with, or some that do. No shade against either one, because I think when you come from either being self-taught or you might be lacking in technique, but you have all this creative craziness, right? Or if you're coming from a formal, from what I've seen, a formal education in design, you kind of stay within the lines, but you're so technically great at what you do, and and everything. And I think it's important for others to hear your stories and how you got into it. So it's a unisex line. What is? I mean, we know what that means, but elaborate more on that.
So the collection started. It was ideated as a menswear line. But as we were starting to like collaboratively sketch these things out, and as we were looking at the samples in person, we found ourselves fitting on men and women, although we showed principally on men for the runway. But after that, once we started getting in our production orders from our manufacturer in India, we started doing marketing initiatives with female models and realized that these silhouettes are not necessarily exclusively masculine. Like we created something inadvertently androgynous. In the future, given that the clothes were structurally made for men, obviously there are natural elements about a woman's body that clothes need to account for, which these clothes don't necessarily. But in the future, now that we know that this style is more of a hybrid model between men and women, we're thinking of either splitting into a men's line and a women's line, or making a more clear delineation for unisex. So like I said, it was principally started as a menswear line, but actually I'd say like 30% of our customer base so far has been female.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
30%?
30%, yeah. With
I'd
say all the sales to date, it's been 30% female sales, and they love it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Women have been responding really positively to it. Yeah.
I'm gonna turn my light down. Give me 1 second. I just need to turn it down just a little
No
bit.
problem.
It's getting, because the sun's going down, and so like now all my green lights in my face, and there's no window light. Thank you. Actually, Aaron did it. Thank you, Aaron. I think that's great, and I think there is definitely a need for gender fluid or a unisex type of fashion within the industry, right? And I think you guys really hit it. You're really onto something.
And the website, when we launched the website, we initially photographed all of the collection on a male model, but then once we started seeing that female traction as well, I think mostly maybe like 75% of the product photography has been converted to both male and female forms. Mm-hmm. So we were able to shoot our model, Tamara. She actually just moved from Columbus. Actually, she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
She walked in the Wonder Ball gala for us.
Okay, nice. And that's right, because you guys did come back. It was last year. You came back for Wonder Ball. I say come back. I mean, you're in Ohio still. I mean, you're like an hour away.
Right.
You took the Hyperloop back to Columbus.
I wish.
And showcase at Wonder Ball, which was phenomenal. Another phenomenal event that happened right before the pandemic hit the U.S. The last major event that happened. So I was so glad we got to experience that, and I'm so glad you guys got to actually experience that as well.
So, and that was an opportunity for us to show. I think honestly, most of the models in that case were women, and it was the same collection that we premiered at the 2018 Fashion Week Columbus show.
That's nuts. That's so cool. They really just
and if I might add, they were also dancing.
Oh, they were
throughout the
dancers.
entire,
right.
Mm-hmm. So just taking that whole element of movement.
Yeah, Tyler actually coordinated that whole thing. So he's just such an incredible dancer, and we asked if he had other like contemporary dancer friends that would be willing to like put on some sort of like installation at the Columbus Museum of Art. And that was coordinated, and it had to have been like less than like 5 days that we were able to put that together. And it just worked because the clothing is, it just works for both forms. We didn't have to do any alterations, any sizing things. We just used the very same inventory for the female and male models.
And that's perfect. It all came together. And that's, to me, like one of the most magical things is when something comes together kind of organically, right? It just feels right. And then you get that energy off of, this is just magical. I get it. Yeah, it was amazing. You guys did a great job. And then the rest of the night, I think it was 1,700 people partying at the Columbus Museum of Art, which if you've never been before, it becomes a huge party and lots of drinking and whatnot.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
So much fun.
It's amazing. Okay, so I know I've listed let's describe the aesthetic of your brand or whatnot, and like maybe can you talk about like the fabrics? Where did the fabrics come from? Why are they special? What makes them high quality? What do you look for with your brand?
So I don't think we went into enough detail about like the essence and the core of the brand itself, but the idea here. So the brand was started when we met our business partner ANANTVIR, who lives in Calcutta. So he actually is from a long line of traditional ethnic Indian manufacturers. So it's a company that his mother started, and then he has kind of taken the business in another direction. But we were able to link up with him. We've actually never met him in person before. It's been a 100% remote relationship, which, I mean, during COVID times, that seems like not such a big deal, but this was 3 years before COVID. So we coordinated this entire collection through the generosity and the amazing spirit of this guy over in Calcutta. So the idea, like I said before, was this fusion between Eastern and Western aesthetics. So using these traditional fabrics, these silks, these rayons that are seen in traditional Indian ethnic menswear and women's wear as well. And also using treatments like embroidery, which are normally used in traditional Indian wear as well, but in a more organic, ornate style. The treatment in our collection is much more architectural and blunt and modernist. But yeah, the fabrics themselves are mostly silk. Mostly everything is 100% silk. Silk is one of the most versatile fabrics, one of the most versatile natural fabrics because it can take so many different forms. We use raw silk, we use bem silk, we use tussa silk. We use a silk blend of rayon, like this viscous material, for a more casual fabric as well. But that's like the whole idea of the line, is to use these traditional Indian fabrics to further that whole East meets West fusion, because these fabrics are not seen hardly ever in the US and Western European market. Like you don't see a lot of raw silk. Yeah, right there, that's a raw silk garment.
Look at that. That is hot. And it looks, I love it. And it flows to his ankles. And this is Nihal, by the way. It flows to his ankles. Yeah, he's great, right? And it's a beautiful garment here. And let me show you, this is Robbie. It's showing how it just flows. I'm sorry, I can't expand the whole thing. But it's beautiful. The way it's made, I'll come back to Nihal here. So yeah, it's the fabrics are just, the way it flows on the runway is amazing. And so when you do get it in, when you do purchase it, you feel like you really have something amazing. It's not like you just went shopping at H&M or something and picked up a garment.
It's an ancient feel, because these fabrics have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. I mean, silk was one of the first fabrics to ever be used in garment construction, just because of the, like I said, the water resistance, the strength, the luster, right? So it was used for royalty for hundreds of years, just because it looks so expensive, right? It's just so luxurious.
And so I don't have many silk garments. I'm about to get one, apparently.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. So when you're dealing with silk, and part of my ignorance, but when you're dealing with silk, not only does it feel luxurious, but you also have to take care of it, right? And But when it comes to design, how is your design aesthetic a little bit different than just dealing with a cotton fabric, right? Like you're dealing with silk, so it's a little bit different to work with.
Yeah, I mean, silk is highly durable. Like I said, it's something that, but it's also something that you don't put in the washing machine.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what you're getting at, right? So obviously, these pieces can be dry cleaned, but just like wool, silk actually has antimicrobial properties. So I'm not sure if you've noticed, but like Chad, what's the composition of your sweater? Is that like a mohair wool right now?
Yeah.
Have you washed it before?
I think one time. That kind of makes me sound dirty.
No,
I don't have to as much.
Right, so that's what I'm getting at. Fibers like wool and fibers like silk are antimicrobial in nature, and you don't have to wash them as much as you would like a cotton. So honestly, the pieces that we have from ANANTVIR, we suggest just a steam bath really for any of them. So like a steamer that you find at like Bed Bath & Beyond would be totally fine. However, the rayon pieces, so some of the more casual pieces like the kurtas, like the pleated kurtas and the long-sleeved kurtas as well, those are much more like everyday wear that you can just throw in the washer, and those are 100% machine washable. But I mean, just like you have a tailored jacket,
right.
You wouldn't put these pieces in the washing machine.
Yeah, right.
Because they lend themselves to formal wear.
Right.
So our whole brand is very, very formal, but it's also glamorous. It's also just modern, but taking that eclectic vibe too.
Yeah.
I had sent the same person I sent the link to your Instagram to see your home. She looked at your brand, and her husband's Indian actually, and she said, "Oh my God, where were these guys when we got married?" Because she's like, I can see several of these things on her husband.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I'm shocked that no one has reached out to us for menswear and wedding occasions before, because you're right. It totally lends itself to like a luxurious beach wedding.
Yeah, 100%. I would wear it. Totally.
Yeah, like there's sleeveless, right? You want to show off your arms. It's the best part.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Listen, I mean, I could do the gym more, but yeah.
No. But
got that COVID-19. Chad, so you mentioned that you haven't washed your sweater very often. You said it sounds dirty. Listen, I'm the same way. Like I literally don't wash my clothes unless I think it's dirty. And my jeans, my denim never see the wash. They literally never see the wash. I'll spot clean them if I have to. But I just feel like I mean, and plus I'm also like, I'm kind of a mutant because I don't have like BO, like my armpits don't smell. I think it's my Asian side. So I have that going for me, but I don't wash my clothes.
Yeah, I'm just paranoid I'm going to ruin it, and if I don't have to, But if I think that it's dirty, trust me, it'll go in the wash. I'll figure it out.
Or he'll just come here and make us like hand wash everything he has.
I do that. I do that.
God, it's hilarious. So the pandemic. How did the pandemic impact your brand?
Yeah, well, I think because, like we said, it is mostly formal wear. Like all these events have been canceled or postponed, so there isn't really a need right now for formal wear. Although in 2021 we've been getting a huge increase in sales, like especially around formal wear stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe these events are starting to happen again. I think people are finding out a way to host events, either being socially distanced or a little more safe. And so we have seen a huge increase in sales around.
Yeah, it's substantial
this year. It's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think, I think during the pandemic, we took that time to sort of regroup and completely revamp our website, bring everything online in a nice cohesive package. So that also helped.
And did you see also an impact in the supply chain, with you guys? Or
well, no, because we manufactured everything before the pandemic, and we haven't done a second production run yet because our first one was large enough to carry us over through 2020. However, I don't think it will be an issue refreshing everything at this point. because everything's up and running. One of the biggest impacts, I think the biggest impact, because we've seen such a strong increase in sales throughout the last couple months, the biggest impact, I haven't seen Chad in person in like 8 months.
Longer.
Has it been longer? And I hate, it's like the worst part of this whole thing.
I know. We've had to do all of our meetings remotely. Seeing these guys 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And that was the week I barely saw them.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, we've had to move all of our meetings remote.
Right. I mean, I feel like, although I feel like nothing's really changed all that much, because as like a routine, every time I get in the car, I just call Chad.
Just to connect, touch base. Right.
Chad tells me all the fun stories going on in his life.
He's on the west coast of Florida.
Oh my gosh! I'll tell you what. I mean, we're in South Florida, right? So I don't know about you over there, Chad, but COVID apparently doesn't exist here in Florida because people don't like to wear a mask, and they're all like, because in Delray Beach we have like our own, like, I call it the Short North because the Columbus has Short North, right, as an arts district. It's the same thing here. There's a main street that has all these bars, restaurants, galleries, and boutiques that like lead to the ocean. Several blocks of them, and we'll drive through, and we'll go out too as well and wear our mask and go eat and whatnot. But there's a couple of venues where people are just hanging out, beer in hand, and just listening to live music, and they're all crowded together. I'm like, oh my God. And you know, they're a little bit older than I am, so I think they're in their 50s and 60s. So I just think, what is going on here in Florida?
Yeah, I know. It's the same where I am.
The Wild West.
Wild West, right? That's crazy. I know we talked about Fashion Week Columbus a little bit, but let's get back to Fashion Week Columbus again. What was your experience like? What were you expecting? Because I remember we had mixed up our interview days, I think, with you guys, right? And we had to go to a hotel room. Is that what happened?
This is our Columbus Fashion Week story. It's a
I want to hear your perspective.
It's like the success story, I feel. So, Chad, you didn't come with us. You were doing something else that day. So, we had signed up. The three of us had signed up for an interview slot, and like a walkthrough of the collection, right? So Chad and I pack up everything in like heaps of garment bags, right? So there's like, we're steaming everything. Everything's beautifully packaged and ready to go.
And nice presentation boards, I might add.
Yeah, beautiful presentation boards. Don put together some lovely mood boards. And Chad and I go downtown Columbus. We drive like an hour and a half and park at the venue. And we walk upstairs like with these massive garment bags, and there's nobody there. And we're like, what's going on? And Chad and I looking at each other, and we're like, oh my gosh.
It also looked like a party just happened.
Yeah.
So we're like, wait a second.
We're like, okay, well, we need to get in touch with somebody. So we, I think it was either you or Nia that we gave a call to. Yeah. And she was like, well, just meet me at the hotel in Easton or Polaris or something. And so Chad and I like cart this collection into the lobby of, was it like the Hilton or something, Chad?
The Hilton at Easton, probably.
Yeah, it was the Hilton Easton. So we're sitting in the lobby with like this huge presentation, and Nia came in person, and she FaceTimed Tommy while we were walking everyone through the garments, and we were accepted. And it was a very unconventional approach to Fashion Week Columbus, I guess. But as far as like the overall experience goes, and Tommy, you had mentioned this at the beginning. Not like we needed convincing, but the assets and the creative marketing materials that we were able to like secure through that process has been the foundational like press release for our entire brand. Like we've been able to recycle those assets, because when you go online and you go on the website, I mean, we have runway shots from a beautiful runway in downtown Columbus, and they look so legitimate. I mean, Columbus Fashion Week is one of the largest fashion weeks in the nation. Yeah. So not only did Columbus Fashion Week like legitimize our project, but just the assets were so incredible, and the relationships we made from it. Like we wouldn't be sitting here tonight, or we wouldn't have been at the Wonderball Gala. We struggle with brand awareness, as any new young brand does. So any massive like arts epicenter
platform,
yeah helps us tremendously.
Yeah, and the team that you guys have created, it's so incredible. Everybody makes the process so easy, so fun. It was just so enjoyable.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
We loved it.
We have a great team. Like, you know, I mean, I personally can't do this by myself, obviously, because my team, they come together. And the cool thing about, you know, our teams is we all know what the goal is, right? All of our egos are set on the side, and we know what our roles are. We know what the goal is. And the goal is to really make you guys look amazing on that runway. And to provide that production, you know, high-end quality production, and then the assets afterwards, right? So the videos, the photos, and whatnot. And, you know, it's really grown into something that obviously has impacted a brand like yours, which I think, I mean, I look at your brand, I'm like, you guys really have your shit together. You know, I love it. I love watching what's going on. I love seeing your, you know, your brand grow. And, you know, since Fashion Week, what successes have you seen moving forward currently?
I think one of the major ones was just our brand launch. So we launched our website early 2020, which was kind of right when the pandemic.
The worst possible time
Yeah.
to launch.
We had like a successful production run, and then our website launched. We were able to secure a partnership with a third-party retailer through the UK called The Unconventional, and that's been a huge success for us. That happened, I want to say, last week.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's our first third-party distribution. Everything's been first-party up to this point.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, that's been really, really incredible. And you're right, like the expansion of it is such a natural, organic thing that keeps being nurtured. We're looking forward very much to next steps. I think I see us possibly showcasing at Columbus Fashion Week in the future. We have plans for a second collection.
Okay.
And we're really, really excited about it. It's gonna be on the rise here soon.
That's amazing. And a second collection, how much can you tell us about it?
So we've expanded our team to beyond just the three of us, or the four of us rather. So obviously ANANTVIR's in India, but the three of us here in the domestic area of the business. We have increased our team substantially. So we can't tell you too much about what's happening with the next collection, but we have secured essentially like a product development consultant to push forward the second collection. So our goal, I mean, we would love to have it on the runway as soon as possible. Our inventory from the year one collection is nearing its end, which is a great thing, right? We're selling out of so many different styles, and we placed like a sizable order for year one, but we're almost out. So not only are we going to continue to refresh like some of these core styles, which are so essential to our brand, because I don't think that anything in the collection needs to disappear quite yet, but for year two, expect something more approachable. So the pandemic has changed a lot of people's attitude towards what they wear and how they wear it. We don't want to lose sight of that beautiful, like luxurious formal wear setting, but we want to expand. We want to expand our customer base a little bit, and we have some historical references cycling up into the next collection, which is really interesting. India has a really interesting past, especially as it relates to textile use and garment use.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
But on expanding,
go ahead.
Sorry, on expanding the collection, as we mentioned before, we're working on the idea of expanding to both men's and women's line. So that's also going to be a big step for us.
That's amazing. You guys are really just doing it, and I love it. And I love it. Seriously. So Lubna's on here. This is Ilmoda Brand Development. That's Lubna. She has a question. She said, congratulations to you, but what stores are you in so far, or DCC so far? DTC.
Chad, you're the operations guy. You answer this one.
So right now we have our online shop, so ANANTVIR.com. We're also, like I said before, we just launched on the Unconventional last week. And then I think those are our 2 main stores right now.
Yeah, so as far as direct to consumer goes, we're always open to the idea of creating like custom pieces as well. So, I mean, there's the portfolio online, right, of this beautiful collection, but we've had some inquiries, some spin-offs too. But yeah, so our goal for 2021 is to expand third party as much as humanly possible, because we feel like we have a nice grasp over our first party distribution. Obviously, first party is always the best way to go, but as on our journey to become a more globally or even internationally recognized brand, I think third party retail is where we need to head.
Oh, I thought Dominic was going to say something.
I know Dom's almost like,
I'll just add that we are currently not in any brick and mortar right now, but obviously we're open to the possibility of expanding to that as well.
Oh yeah,
third party.
The Unconventional is online.
Okay, so you say there's brick and mortar in the future for you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. So if anyone's watching that wants the brand in their store, give us an email.
There you go. Have you guys hit up any of the Columbus boutiques or stores or anything?
We have reached out to a couple of like major metro boutiques in like Chicago and New York, but I don't think we've quite tapped into the closer to home areas, like the Columbuses, the Indianapolises, the Pittsburghs, those types of places.
Right.
That's next on our strategic hit list.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. When do you think you're going to showcase at Fashion Week Columbus again? Is it this year or next year?
It would be awesome if we could hit this year. That would be a fantastic goal to strive towards. What do you think?
Are you asking me what I think?
I was looking at Chad, actually.
We could probably make this year work.
That would be
That
great.
would be amazing.
There's a couple of logistical things we need to take care of with our new product development consultant, but it's going to have to be a fast process. But I mean, the only way to work anymore is at an aggressive pace. So
yeah, I mean, obviously Lumina would love that. I would love that. I have to remain non-biased. I'm not on the panel, but you know, I usually say I'm just here for all the jokes I'm going to tell you. So comedic relief. So I think that's amazing, guys. Where can so currently you said you are online. I have a little banner to just put across the screen there in case people need to know how to get there.
Oh, thanks, Tommy.
Perfect.
How fancy.
This platform is like amazing. The quality, like the video replay you did was like so high quality.
It was.
Thank you. We love this much better than the Instagram Live. It was so buggy at Instagram Live, and because of Events Amplified, we were able to use this platform, which we're using from here on forward, and probably also using during our virtual conference, the fashion industry, coming up in April, end of April, which I'll inform you guys about as well. Maybe get you guys involved because I think you have such a great story, and I also think Alexandre. I know we're running out of time here, but I did want to touch base on just your experience within the fashion industry as on the buyer side. I mean, obviously, that helped you navigate your own brand a little bit, right? And you already had some of those connections.
Like I said, I was in my first internship was at Barney's when Barney's was still a thing. Obviously, they've since gone bankrupt, which is like so sad. They were like the pinnacle of directional fashion, which is really, really sad. But so that really helped me stay connected and network with the industry. There are several designers and distributors that I still have close relationships to this day. In fact, my supervisor at Barney's, I think he's since moved to Bergdorf's. Him and I talk on a regular basis, and he's just the greatest guy. But I mean, not only my experience in, I think the more helpful experience was my product development experience.
Just gonna say.
Nice.
In addition to like the fashion and Saks and the Barney stuff, I worked for weirdly American Greetings, the greeting card company in Cleveland, Ohio.
Right?
Yeah, for like 3 years, and my job there was to bring new to the world concepts and maintain relationships with international, mostly Asian vendors. So I got to go to Hong Kong and see firsthand how that manufacturer relationship is conducted. So from a product development standpoint, I feel so equipped for the role that I'm in today. So it's awesome. I have such a weird background, but it's all like, it seems to all happen for a reason. It all fits together nicely.
Right. You seem to be very multi-talented. Your piano skills, I can't even like, I personally don't know how people play piano and sing at the same time. Like that's kind of a weird thing. Like, and it's two-hand, I don't know, I can't do it.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's like that's my entire career right now. Like that's what I've converted to.
That is amazing. But you guys have been doing great. Thank you for joining me today, tonight. Olivia does have a comment. She did say, please let us know if we can help you. Major markets for your products in men's and women's. That's nice.
Yeah, shoot us an email.
Yeah, I'll make sure she has your email address if she doesn't already, and you guys can definitely chat. And I love that. I love that. Keep doing what you're doing, guys, and I will see you when I get back to Columbus, and we're gonna have dinner. Chad, you're coming.
I will be there.
You will be there, and I'm going to pick up my garment. Thank you so much. But always a pleasure talking with you guys. Always a pleasure seeing you and then keeping up with you as well. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Amazing. Love hearing success stories from fashion designers that have showcased on our runways at Fashion Week Columbus or have participated in our programs at the Columbus Fashion Council. That's why we're here. That's what we're about. That's our mission. So, and even further development, hopefully, you know, emotive brand development and ANANTVIR can hook up and get them into some other places. So this is quite amazing. We love having our virtual fashion industry mixers. We love inspiring. We love when our designers inspire as well. So, don't forget, tomorrow we're releasing publicly our annual report for 2020. Please check it out. It's really full of great content, great information, and links to designer videos, to Fashion Week Columbus finale show recap, also to Women in Fashion, which was a virtual panel discussion during Fashion Week Columbus, and also to 10 TV's coverage of our mask initiative. You can also, there's a link to the lookbook, a link to the scholarship recipient from 2019, and it's all in there. So please be on the lookout for that. Other than that, Fashion Week Columbus dates will be announced next week. Keep an eye out for that. And then, like I mentioned tonight, we do have a program that we're developing to be executed at the end of April called the Fashion Industry. It's a virtual conference. So keep up with our social media pages, please. And that's it. So have a great Thursday night. I'm going to the gym. Bye.